alaikum friends, hope you all are staying well by the grace of Almighty Allah. Yeah, in this corona pandemic situation, I am also staying very safe and secure, and I hope and pray that you all stay well and fine. Okay, today I'm gonna discuss about a very important book which has been written by the greatest novelist Ernest Miller Hemingway. The book is none other than The Old Man and the Sea. This book is very popular and a famous novella because this book has a very vast importance in every man's personal life. So it is very important for all of us to read this book. I will request you all, if you ever get enough time to read books, then first try to read this book, The Old Man and the Sea. This is a novella, and this book has been written by the Nobel laureate literature, the Nobel laureate writers, the greatest English novelist, Mr. Ernest Miller Hemingway. Okay, let's discuss about this book. But before going to the elaborate discussion of this book, first I would like to make you introduced with the main characters of the books. Okay, there are actually very few characters in this novel. There is no so many characters in this novel. So from that perspective, this book is called the fiction of characters, or even you can say fiction of event. Both the mixture, the fiction of character and also the fiction of events are combined here, has been combined here very tactfully by the writers, the Nobel laureate Ernest Miller Hemingway. Okay, in this book there is a very deep connotation that why it has been written in such a way. Okay, in the very beginning I was just telling you that this is not a novel. Actually this is a novella. Why? Because this book is just smaller than the novel and greater than the story. So that's why it is called a novella. That means a smaller novel, okay, which is just like not as the standard novel. In this book there are only 4 characters mainly. The first character is whose name is Santiago, who is a fisherman whose age is 85 years age and who fishes in the Cuban Gulf Stream harbor in the sea, okay, where he fishes and where he stays just beside the harbor. So this is the main character of this novella. Actually the main character's name is, again I am repeating, this is Santiago, a 85 years old man who is a fisherman who fishes in the Gulf Stream, that is the Cuban harbor, that is the Havana harbor of Cuba. We all know that the capital name of Cuba is Havana, so that's why it is a Havana harbor, the Gulf Stream, okay, besides the Gulf Stream. Okay, that man is the main character of this novella, and there are also some other characters which are not so much important, but because of the clear explanation of this novella I have to mention those names. The second characters of this novel is a boy who is a very young boy whose name is Manolin, who was just the fishing partner of the old fisherman Santiago, and he also has parents, but his parents' name has not been mentioned in this novella. And there are other 2 characters. Those are none other than a big fish, that name is Marlin. Marlin is a big fish, and we got only 3 characters actually: Santiago the fisherman, and the fishing partner, a young boy whose name is Manolin, and a big fish which was Marlin. Actually these 3 characters is the main characters, okay, and we can say there are actually no other important characters which we normally get into the discussion of this novella. So why I just came up with this great novel to discuss with you. Actually I thought this is the best novel ever I have read in my life. Why? Because a very deep connotation, a very deep meaning, a very life meaningful meaning which is very much closely related with our life. That's why I have just come up with this novel. So what is the deep connotation? Just I will explain this just at the end of my discussion. First let me make you understood with the short story of this total novella. Okay, what happened actually? the old man, which is Santiago, who just normally fishes, who was a fisherman from the beginning of his life until to this moment, he fished, but unluckily, which is being called here Salao, Salao, which is a Cuban word, which means the unluckiest person in this world. So he was a Salao, unluckily. Why and how? Actually, he was fishing for a long time. He is very experienced man, and he has caught a lot of fish. But unluckily, from the last 84 days, he even couldn't a single fish. So it was his salah, or the unluckiest fate. So what happened? As just continuously 84 days, he just couldn't even catch a single fish. So what happened actually? This is as this is his bad luck, and he couldn't fish a single fish for 84 days. So his fishing partner, who was Manolin's parents asked Manolin, "You should not go to that old man and that old boat, because as he couldn't even hook a single fish for 84 days. So can you just hope that he would be able to catch fish in the next days? So you should leave him." But the fact is that that old man and that young boy was very friendly each other. So the old boy was just forced to leave that boat of Santiago, and he did so because his parents had asked him to do so. So this was a fact. But another fact is that although the young boy left the old fisherman Santiago, he was not happy actually, because he was his friend. He was his very close friend. So what happened actually? He was in a very confusion. What will he do? Okay, he adjusted with the new boat, with the new fisherman. But after fishing at the evening, he every day went to the Santiago. Why? Just to gossip, just to help the Santiago, as he knew very well that Santiago has no relatives, because he was bachelor ever. Okay, he was unmarried. So who will take care? He also knew that Santiago has nothing to eat. He has no deposit. Okay, how will he manage to take food? So it was a great tension of Manolin, that young boy. So just in his bad days, when he couldn't catch fish actually, so every day he went to the fisherman at the evening after fishing, to his new fishing partner. Okay, so this was the fact. Although Manolin and Santiago just separated from each other because of unluckiest situation, but still they have a very good connection between them. Why? Because they love each other, they were very friendly. This was the main reason. So after passing these days with his young friend, Santiago again just regenerated, reinvigorated, re-energized, and he again went to catch fish in the deep sea, just in the deep sea of the Cuban harbor. And luckily he just caught a very big fish. The big fish was marlin fish. This fish was 18 feet long, and it was very big. He has never seen such a fish. He has never caught such a fish in his entire fishing life. So he was so happy that after 84 days, of the unluckiest moment, today I have caught the right fish, that is the biggest fish in my life. Okay, he caught this with his fishing tool, but unluckily he just caught this fish, but he was able to manage this large fish, taking 3 days attempt, and it was very surprising. Actually, the main connotation of this story was implied with this 3 days fighting. The fight between the fisherman and the fish, marlin. So there is a very good and interesting and a very learning fight between Santiago and the fish, marlin fish. Okay, what happened in these 3 days of catching fish? The man Santiago just caught the fish, no problem. There was no problem here. He just hooked the fish very well, but it was very tough to pull that fish onto his boat. So it was a great challenge for him. So how did he manage this? Okay, actually, okay, first he hooked that fish, and he was just he again just tied it with a rope, the rope that is present in his boat. Okay, he tried a lot, but the fish was trying to escape, and he was just making a lot of trouble. So the old man Santiago caught that fish with great attempt, and he was just pull it on his back, on his chest, on his hand. Anyhow, he was trying to manage this fish with the rope. And again, by this time there were shark. The fish was cut anyhow, and the fish was, it is bleeding. Okay, it was bleeding. And at the same time, the fisherman Santiago's hand was also cut, and he was also bleeding. So what will he do? He is only one in the boat, there is no one to help him. At the same time, he has to cure his bleeding hand. At the same time, he also has to manage that big fish. So what will he do? At that critical moment, he remembered a character who is Dimaggio, who was a baseball player, and Dimaggio was a favorite player of Mr. Santiago. So Mr. Santiago just imagine the strength of that baseball player Dimaggio. Dimaggio was very much strengthful. Okay, he was very much powerful player, and he could win everything. He was a very good reputation in baseball. So Santiago just imagined and felt the assistance in imaginary way, that if Dimaggio can be so strong, so why not me? If Manolin, his young fishing partner, he also remembered him. Oh, I thought, if I am a young boy, I am Manolin, then what will I do? His mental strength, he is just re-energizing his mental strength. This is the connotation. He was thinking, he was remembering a lot of strength people, like the Dimaggio, the baseball player, who was very powerful player. He remembered his strength with him. He also remembered the young boy's strength. If I was a young boy, then what will we do? What will I do actually? He thought like this, and he just re-energized, and he caught the fish. He just kept catching that fish with that rope continuously 3 days, by just remembering the God's blessings, the powerful strength of the baseball player Dimaggio, and also remembered the young adolescent power of a young man. And together with these three imaginary powerful concept, he just kept himself very strong, and he ultimately managed the fish. But he knew, as he was very experienced fisherman, he knew, as the shark was injured, and the shark was bleeding. So what happened actually? The shark was bleeding, and he was experienced. He thought that there must be, as the marlin fish was injured and it was bleeding, so he thought there must be some shark around it to eat the flesh of the marlin fish. He knew it because he has a previous experience of fishing such type of fish, although other fish were not so much bigger than that. But he knew that if any fishes bleeds, then other shark must come to attack. And this happened. So when he managed the fish, he just went back to the harbor, and just based on his experience, he thought that there must be a shark. And suddenly the shark came. The shark ate all the pieces of this marlin fish. Only the skeleton of the marlin fish left under the water. And it was very depressed full condition. Although he thought there might be some places at least. When he came to the coast of the harbor, he was very tired, because he fighted 3 days continuously with a fish, big fish, with the shark. So what he was very actually tired. So he just came back at the dawn of the morning, okay, when there were no light, when there were no sunlight. So he was tired. He just he just went back to his hut, which was present, the small house beside the harbor, and he slept. In the morning, the other fishermen of other boats, everyone, and the other people of the villages came to this harbor and saw, oh my God, this is a very largest. This is the largest fish we have ever seen in our life. How did how did he catch this fish? An old man, how is it possible? No, it's so surprising. There must be something. Everyone became surprised, and everyone thought, how is it possible for an old man to catch such a big fish? What was it actually? And where is the place? Although there were no place actually in the body of that skeleton, but everyone became surprised. Everyone became very surprised to see that such a big fish has been caught by this old man. Even Marlin was also surprised. So what happened? The main learning of this novel is that an old man should never be alone. He should always be very energized. He should always be very happy, with very happy thinking, with very powerful thinking. He should always practice adolescent thinking in his mind. He should always feel young in his mind, so he will never be defeated. Okay, there is a very good sentence which has been used in this novel, which is just being used all over the world as an inspiration for all the old people, for all the people who are not very powerful minded. So what is the statement? The statement is that man is not made for defeat. Man can be destroyed, but man can never be defeated. This is the main learning of this novel. Okay, man is not made for defeat. Man can be destroyed, but man can never be defeated. Okay, so if we can remember this very classical sentence, which has been clearly stated by the greatest novelist, Mr. Ernest Hemingway, the sentence, if we can keep it in our mind, we will never feel alone in our life. Even we are octogenarian, or we are in the last age of our entire life. So this is the main learning of this novel. We should never feel alone, even in our older age. Whenever we are in 80 or 90 or in 100 years age, or in our old age when we have no work to do, we always should keep we always should keep it in our mind that we are never alone. If we can sustain, if we can remain the young mood in our mind, then we will never feel alone, we will never feel weak. We are always powerful. So adolescent is not about age. Adolescent is all about our thinking. It's all about in our mind power. This is the learning of this novel. I think The Old Man and the Sea, this novel, The Old Man and the Sea, is the best novel in contemporary, in this modern world literature. So I would request you all to read this novella and to get the real thinking. There are also other statements, also our very good lines which we can just state here, but sorry to say this is gonna be very longer, this review, so that's why I'm not just stating those sentences. Just keep remember this sentence: man is not made for defeat. Man can never be destroyed. Man can be destroyed, but man can never be defeated. Okay, man can be destroyed, but man can never be defeated. So we are made not for any defeat. Okay, if we try, we can win anything. If we try, only our attempt is needed. Okay, stay well, friends. Hope I have been able to just represent at least the main theme of this novella. I hope you have been benefited. You have got at least the theme of this novel. Later I will bring another novel for you international novel which has a very learning point. I will request you also to subscribe my channel. I have a channel that is only for book review, and that channel is Rana Literature. If you are interested, if you feel interested, then you can subscribe. If you don't feel any interest, then I will not request you to, I will not force you, or I will not earnestly request you to subscribe. But if you like a little bit of my book review, then you must subscribe. Thank you very much. Stay well. Keep safe in this corona pandemic situation. Keep safe from any kind of health hazard, and keep also safe your family. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.